Hey, it's the 7th of January 2024, and we're going to take a look at some of the storms around the globe. As we look down on the Americas, you can actually see a low pressure system spinning vigorously up in the North Atlantic. This is sucking very cold air down over northeastern Canada. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But first, I want to take a look at Europe, where there is a really large low pressure system that's spinning in the northern Mediterranean. Seems to be centered somewhere around here. It's bringing a lot of strong winds, heavy snow into the mountains. It actually is sucking some dust off the Sahara. You can see here the haziness from that dust getting wrapped up and maybe coming up over the Greek islands over here. It really is quite a big system. This is, it really just takes up the whole Mediterranean. You can see the winds surging down here and across Sicily and then into Greece, across the whole Mediterranean, even up into Turkey over here. These are the Mistral winds, and I'm showing the wind gusts here, so let's just put a little pointer in to see what kind of values we're looking at here. Yeah, so it's pretty windy there. That's 111 kilometers per hour. We should be able to see a lot of whitecaps developing over the Mediterranean in this area in the satellite imagery when it comes in. And as we go forward, you'll see the similar progression of the big downslope wind systems of Europe as the system moves towards the east. First of all, the Mistral over here, which is the currently active one, and then have a look at the Bora here, which comes down off the coast into the Adriatic Sea. And then we'll also see a surge of winds, a complete transition in the winds in the Aegean, and that will surge down from the north. So let's have a look at how that develops. Going forward, if it lets me get rid of that, and so you can see the Bora winds picking up off the coast of Croatia, and then in the Aegean over here you'll see the winds surging out of the north, and that'll bring colder conditions. Actually, you can see even down on the coast of Greece it's down to -2 over here. A surge of cold conditions, probably some snow on the higher Greek islands. We'll take a look at that. In terms of the rain and snow, we're back on Sunday initial time here, and you can see the heavy rain across Italy and really heavy rain into Greece and Albania. Lots and lots of snow across the mountains of Bosnia and Croatia, into the Pennines, and across the Alps, and even to lower levels across Switzerland. And lots of snow then building more and more into the areas of Croatia and Bosnia, and progressing into Greece. We'll see that surge down from the north, and we'll see that snow come down. I see there's some freezing rain, snow across Bulgaria, and then coming down into Greece. We see snow on the higher mountains of Greece over there. And will we get snow in Crete, I wonder? We should be able to tell that. Yes, see, you can see even on the island of Crete, we begin to see snow being picked up in the model. There we see 3 centimeters in the new snow over the next 3 days. You can see the signature there. So that will be another one to check on the satellite imagery, is the snow on the mountains of Crete, which is always a nice thing to see. Overall, for the next 3 days, this is the new snow, and you can see that there is a lot of new snow across the southern half of Europe, and even a dash coming into southeast England. So that is the next thing I'm going to look at, because I'm currently located right here, and we have some possible dusting of snow. This is the forecast for southeast England then, and I'm going to put in a little pinpoint for where I am located down here in Lewis, East Sussex. And if we go forward, you'll see overnight tonight we do get a bit of rain coming through, and then by tomorrow we see snow coming off the North Sea into the Channel, and it's borderline snow, drizzle, sleet, but there is indications of at least a few flakes coming down. So I think I will go up to the South Downs to see if I can capture at least a bit of dusting of snow. We'll see. There is really not very much, but that's all we get around here. And then it cools down and we're into a cold period with frosty nights. Taking a look at eastern Canada, let's take a look at this storm system. Very impressive, with a big curving, probably occluded front going in towards the center. This is dragging down winds off the cold Canadian land, and you'll see little lines of snow showers being developed. There's one in the lee of this island, which is, I don't know what island it is, but there's a snow shower line coming here. All of these snow showers coming off Newfoundland, and we should be seeing very cold temperatures also in Halifax. Phew, yeah, it is very cold in Halifax. Current conditions -11. They've got a special weather statement for accumulating snow on Sunday. Halifax County, wind gusts 40 to 60 miles per hour. And that's because of this other system off the east coast of the United States. You see really heavy rain and thunderstorms as it's passing over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. But as that moist air comes in and hits the cold air over the continent, we've got really quite heavy snowfall occurring over states such as Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont. And as that moves up, then it comes in towards Nova Scotia, which is where those warnings are enforced. But it actually, in this model, doesn't produce the heaviest snow over Halifax. It's actually just towards the south, and we see those bigger accumulations. If we look at the new snow, we're going to see the greatest accumulations from this system occurring, looks like in Massachusetts, New York State, New Hampshire, where it's 20 to 30 centimeters, a little over 30, probably in the hills of the area. New York itself is on the edge of the snow. Not sure if there has been much snow there. If you go inland, you'll see a lot more. Let's take a look at the webcam and see. Yeah, it looks like it's snowing, but it's melting in New York. But if we go inland, then you'll see that there's much more snow on the webcams. Meanwhile, in the western US, we've got systems piling in, hitting cold air over the Rockies and bringing quite a lot of snow, particularly up in British Columbia, but then stretching down all the way into the Californian mountains later on. So the first heaviest snow is into Washington State, but if we look forward and we go forward to Tuesday, there's another system bringing very heavy snow, this time stretching down into Oregon and even into Northern California. And that then progresses down, bringing some snow into the mountains of California, and snow spreading then across the rest of the Rockies. It does look like there's a surge on Wednesday of heavy snowfall that comes down further and further to the south and across California, bringing snow to the mountains of California. So this general progression of snow stretching further and further to the south down the mountain range. Overall, if we look at this new snow accumulation, we're going to be seeing some quite large amounts for the next 3 days as we accumulate over those 3 different systems, I guess it is. The highest amounts you can see are up in Washington State, where it is over 80 centimeters of snow during just 3 days. So plentiful snow for the skiing in these areas and across all of the Rockies, really. And in fact, if we look at the snow cover in general, this is the snow cover map. And if we start today, this is today's kind of general view with all the snow of the Rockies, some in the upper Midwest, and then from that system on the East Coast, you can see the snow cover that cuts off very sharply around New York by the coast. But if we go forward, you're going to see these systems bring greater and greater snow cover to the United States, such that by the later in the period, and we're talking the 12th of January here, we've got substantially more of the country covered with a snow cover from California in the mountains down across a lot of Arizona, a lot of New Mexico, into Oklahoma, and across the northern eastern United States. Still, we've got a lot of snow cover. So pretty decent snow cover looking as we head into the middle of January. If we take a look over at Japan, we see that there is a snow disturbance in the Sea of Japan heading in, and it looks like it's tucking into Otaru and Sapporo over here. Now the thing is to always check the time when it comes to Ramimbi Slider, which is the satellite viewer that we're looking at here. Up here you can see that it is showing only up to 0940 UTC, which is, it's now 1300 something UTC. So this is a few hours out of date, so they may be having a problem with the data. This happens actually quite a lot, so always check the date and time when looking at the satellite imagery. Yeah, so it looks pretty fabulous as we look down on Sapporo Odori Park. Look at the snow coming in, dumping on the trees as we head into today. But I think the heaviest snow may be yet to come as we head into the next few hours. We've got snow, a distinct line, probably associated with the Tartary plume coming in to the Ishikari Bay and then piling into Sapporo, bringing quite a lot of snow for a period of time as we head into Monday. Though the European Centre model is keeping most of the snow just to the west, and so that means Otaru out on the Ishikari Peninsula a bit is receiving a lot of snow, and you can see it in the webcam really piling in and dumping over the canal, the famous canal of Otaru there. I'm going to go into some of the particulars of the snow in the Sea of Japan, and particularly for Sapporo in future videos, but let's just take a quick look here at a few things. This is the island of Sakhalin up here, and then you've got the Russian mainland. Sapporo is down here, and what you'll see is the surge of north winds, and this is sea ice. You can see all the sea ice up here, and then as soon as that wind hits the sea, you see the cloud developing, and it actually forms into a line here that comes down, and then this is wrapping into a small-scale low-pressure system in this region in the Sea of Japan. I call this thing the Tartary plume because this is up here is called the Strait of Tartary, and this plume is quite a frequent feature. Depending on where it lines up, will bring heavy snow to particular regions. Sometimes it lines up and it goes right into this bay here, which is Ishikari Bay, and then that dumps lots and lots of snow in Sapporo, but it doesn't happen too often. Over in Japan, we also had the earthquake near, which produced a large fire in Wajima. And this fire was actually detected from the Imawari 9 satellite. It was a very large fire that spread throughout the whole district of the town. The earthquake also produced a lot of landslides, such as this horrendous one, which is also near Wajima. And in addition to that, there were substantial changes to the coastline level, and the shaking brought down some sea stacks. Over in India, the story has been fog, and real nasty fog, the sort of polluted crap all through the Ganges. This was the view this morning, January 7th, and you can see the fog stretches all the way from Bangladesh to Pakistan. This fog has been around for ages, cold and miserable, and it actually has grown somewhat. Let's go back to earlier in December. I think it started around Christmas Day. Yeah, see, it's a lot less on December 24th, the morning of December 24th, but as we go forward, you'll see it grow and grow and grow and grow. It's coming and going, so these are the mornings, so it disperses in the afternoons and it reforms during the night, but with each night it seemed to get bigger and bigger, perhaps peaking around January 2nd or 3rd. Well, it's sort of wish-washing about, so it has just been there for over probably something like 2 weeks now. A couple of updates on the work front. We're currently looking at the Issyk-Kul Lake Vortex, which was Lake Snow Vortex, which was introduced in the previous video, I think, which is a very strange snow vortex that forms over Issyk-Kul in Kyrgyzstan. Currently the simulations are down to 5 km resolution, and you can see it's a bit blocky, but hopefully we'll go higher in future. We're also continuing to work on the Maui fire event, and this was a downslope wind event that produced very dry air and a surge of strong winds across Lahaina that helped to fuel the horrendous fire that ended up killing many people. So we're working on both these things, and I'm going to leave it at that. Please come join us on the Discord to learn more. See you later.